good to have you join us on another episode of Green Footprints, coming to you from Green TV. On the 5th of May, that is the past Monday, TotalEnergies, a global energy giant, announced plans for a $16 billion green hydrogen and ammonia project in southern Chile. It's been commended as a monumental stride towards clean energy, but beneath the surface, the lingering question is if this is a genuine commitment to sustainability or a strategic move to greenwash a polluting agency or legacy, as we may call it. In today's world where more people are demanding climate action, sustainability has become a hot selling point for businesses. But as the pressure to go green grows, so does the temptation to fake it. More and more companies are making big promises about saving the planet while doing very little behind the scenes. Here's what a guest on our last program had to say about the situation.
For example, now if you go to Niger Delta, you see a lot of oil companies that have green in front of their names. You know, a typical
oil
one that
companies.
a typical one that I will soon go after. I'm just gathering my evidence. Right, green energy. There's nothing green about that energy. Do you understand? And for me, it's just adding green is just making people feel like you are for us.
Yeah.
You know, but you are constantly exploring. In reality, it's just political correct. It's not like, okay, people shall want us to throw in sustainability. So we are telling you that, this is sustainable energy, but it's not. There's nothing sustainable about it.
Yeah, like we see that's a little bit of an example of the greenwashing situation that we have going on right now. And greenwashing involves companies misleading consumers about their environmental practices, often through marketing that exaggerates or fabricates eco-friendly initiatives. It's a growing concern as corporations seek to capitalize on the demand for sustainable solutions without actually making substantive changes. But the issue of greenwashing isn't limited to major corporations, as recently Europe's race towards net zero targets a significant portion of its renewable energy by importing solar and wind power from North African nations like Morocco, Egypt, and Tunisia. And we have had a Greenpeace report actually call out Europe for extracting renewable energy to greenwash their own economies. This growing trend promises decarbonization at scale, but critics are raising concerns on if this clean energy pipeline is truly sustainable, or is it a case of greenwashing at Africa's expense? Because we now have these nations profiting from the energy produced in North Africa while leaving the region reliant on dirty imported fuels and bearing the environmental cost. This pattern raises further questions about the future motive behind the push for renewable energy. Is it genuinely about reducing emissions, or is it just another way for wealthier nations to appear eco-friendly while shifting the burdens somewhere else? Now back to fossil fuels. For decades, the fossil fuel industry has known it's a major driver of climate change. But instead of sounding the alarm, oil and gas companies have worked to protect their profits, first by denying the science, then by seeking to distract attention from their harms. One tactic, like we've seen, is greenwashing. Their marketing gives the impression that the companies are acting for the good of the climate, while their overall businesses remain linked to dangerous level of greenhouse gas emissions like we see every day and everywhere we go. TotalEnergies' now proposed green hydrogen project may sound like a step towards a sustainable future, but a closer look reveals a troubling contradiction. While marketed as a green initiative, the project raises serious environmental and social concerns. For one, the production of green hydrogen is water intensive, and to meet the demand, they're planning desalination plants, something that could actually seriously disrupt local marine ecosystem. Then there's the issue of biodiversity. The construction of wind farms and other infrastructure for the project may actually threaten wildlife, from migratory birds to marine species, which could have lasting impact on the region's delicate ecosystem. But perhaps most concerning, though, is the potential displacement of indigenous communities like the Chango people over there. Without proper consultation or fair compensation, their way of life and cultural heritage could be in jeopardy, and that's something that's quite scary. So while the shift towards renewable energy is commendable, it's essential to scrutinize whether such project represents genuine change or strategic rebranding. True sustainability actually requires transparency, community engagement, and a holistic approach that balances environmental, social, and economic factors all together. So as the planet faces escalating climate crisis, the urgency for authentic, impactful action can definitely not be overstated, but superficial solutions and greenwash projects like we see everywhere would only divert attention and resources from meaningful progress. The path to a sustainable future demands more than ambitious announcements. It requires integrity, accountability, and inclusive planning. The green revolution is not just a color change, but it's a true transformation. And in 2025, sustainability shouldn't just be a trend, but it's a test of business integrity. And the brands that win will be those that walk the talk. Let's have your thoughts on the recently announced project by TotalEnergies. Do you think they're truly committed to sustainability, or is it just another agenda to shape and cover everything green? That's a wrap on today's episode of Green Footprints. I'm Tonya Gubanjo. Many thanks for watching. It's bye for now.